she knew that if I had that baby, she would have to raise, and she forced me to get an abortion. I just remember being very painful, and I started using drugs. For a mother have 3 children born in the water, the statistic is like, it's never gonna happen. It happened to me. I'm Mayana Fredrickson, I'm 41 years old, and this is part of my story. I was born in Brazil. My parents got divorced when I was 5 years old, and I kind of remember that day. I remember that something was thrown into the door, and I remember that we still lived in the same house when my parents got divorced, and there was this mark on the door that I always knew what the mark was. It was the day when my dad left. I was 5, and I feel like that's the only memory from when I was 5 I really remember like it was today. Growing up with my mom was really young. When she had me, she was 17 years old. So she was a single mother, and she had to work. So I was always alone, which led to many abuse. I was abused many times as a young child, but I feel like that the problem in my life really started when I went to college. I feel like I started rebelling a little bit, and I started using drugs. I started with marijuana and partying, alcohol a lot, LSD, lots of raves. That's what I was doing in college. And I feel like that my life really got a turn when I got pregnant for the first time. When I got pregnant for the first time, it was like an avalanche to my mother, because my boyfriend at that time was very irresponsible, and so was I. And she knew that if I had that baby, she would have to raise. And she forced me to get an abortion. I remember she called my dad when she found out I was pregnant. And she just, I can't do this. I've experienced what is raising a baby. I don't think she should do this alone. Her boyfriend is an irresponsible man. He's not gonna be a part of this. I know that I'm gonna have to do everything. And my dad agreed with her. So I didn't have a choice. She drove me to another city to get that abortion. And I remember after that, I got very depressed. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have any idea of what I was doing. I didn't know anything about it. I just remember being very painful. I just remember going back home and didn't want to live anymore. I really didn't want to live anymore. The next day, I even tried to put some pills on me. Like I remember looking at myself in the mirror, and I thought, what is the purpose of this? Like, why am I here? What I'm doing? What is this? And I remember that I tried to take my life, but I actually didn't want to. So I wanted more attention than anything else. I wanted my parents' attention. I want my ex-boyfriend's attention. I wanted attention. I needed attention. I needed somebody to help me and heal me and help me navigate how I was feeling. When I went to college, that was a big deal for me, because then I rebel against my parents. I rebel, but I wasn't I wasn't doing as a revenge. I want to revenge my mother. I want to revenge my dad. It wasn't that, but I rebelled against everything. And then that was when alcohol and the parties and the weekends were very long. My weekends, the parties was every weekend, from Friday to Sunday. I would leave Friday, my home, and I would come back on Sunday because I had to go to work. So it was that life for a while. And I remember when I decided to move to America, my life was good. I feel like things were going okay, as you know, I decided to just get into work, and I was not into drugs anymore because I was so busy working and tried to keep my mind occupied with things that would bring me healing, and nothing was enough to bring me healing. I was just getting dark and dark and dark inside of me. And the need of being loved was one of the most deceptive things in my life, like trying to find somebody that would replace what my dad didn't do for me, and what my mom wasn't doing for me, and through relationships and relationships and relationships, and just being hurt over and over and over. Me coming to America was kind of an escape from everything, but also because I was very good at my job and very good at what I was doing, I kind of want to upgrade, and maybe if I learn English, that would put something on my curriculum and make me get more clients and just find a better job, leave my city. I just knew that I want to leave. I did not want to be there anymore. When I came to America, it was when everything changed for me, because I met Jesus. And I remember my first time in church, when I experienced that feeling, the warmth. I don't know how to describe it. I really experienced something that I have never experienced in my life. For the first time I came to church, I felt the presence of God. And I remember in my mind being so thankful that I was there. I remember saying, oh my goodness, thank you so much that I'm here and that I'm not anywhere else. I'm not partying. I was so thankful to be at that church at that time, at that day, where I felt that something came upon me and just like gave me a fire hug, because I felt like I was on fire and I felt my heart racing and I was weeping, so much so that I opened my eyes to see if anybody was looking at my weeping, because I didn't want to. It was so loud and so strong, I didn't have control. And I feel like I really experienced God that day, the first time I went to church, and everything changed for my life. I got a job. I broke a relationship where it was not gonna go anywhere. And I really started following Jesus. The first the abortion that I did with my mom, which she forced me to let me to do many other ones, which I can't even remember. I can't count. I would say 5, but I don't remember. I don't know how many it was. I did many abortions after my mom left me. I think it was so easy for me. It became so easy, the habit. Oh, I'm pregnant, I can just resolve this. So I had that pattern of, I'm pregnant, let's just get rid of it and just fix the problem. And I did that many times. So when I first got married, when I was following Jesus, I've been living so many lies. I've been living the lie that I was never going to be able to have a child again, because I hurt myself so much, so many times. So I've been living those lies that I was never going to be able to have a child again. And when I had my first baby, my first boy, he was born in the water. My water never broke. Even though I went to the hospital, I heard like a pop, like a balloon pop. That's how I knew he was coming. But my water never broke. And I went to the hospital, and my midwife got to experience something that she had never seen, which is a baby being born in the water. And the statistic of having a baby, a child born in the water, is 1 in 80,000. And I end up having 3 of my boys in the water. They were all born in the water. And the statistic of 3 boys, 3 babies being born in the water from the same mother. 1 in 500 trillion. I don't even know how to say that in English. It's just very rare for a mother have 3 children born in the water. The statistic is like, it's never gonna happen. It happened to me. And I say that to say, and I wanna share my story with abortion because I believe that I was never gonna be able to see the fruit of my womb. And I believe that I was never gonna be able to understand what really means to have been blessed by the Lord and receive a gift from Him, which is a child. These were all lies, and I believe that Jesus, He heals, and if He did for me, He can do for anyone. Seriously, like, I'm not more special than anybody. I just say yes, I will follow you. And now I have 3 boys. They are the joy of my life. I am a full-time mom, full-time ministry. I don't do anything outside of what God has commanded us to do. My life is pretty great now. I feel like that if God did for me, if He could have healed me and give me the most precious gifts of life, I think He can do for you too.